Yeah, that came very fast. Hello, everybody. How are you? Yeah, my name is McKenna. Welcome here to our Facebook Live. Today is Wednesday. We usually come here with Benna and Nancy, but Benna is not. She was committed today, or yeah, so we give thanks to God for giving us this opportunity to be here to speak to you. We always say that we are coming here not for us. Yeah, already we are in business. Already we overcame the fear, if it's fear. We already overcame the skepticism, if that's what you have. And I want to tell you, we are growing every day. For us, we're experiencing growth in so many ways. So welcome here. The most important thing is for me is I was born and raised in Kenya, so I live in the U.S. with my family. I am a mom of three teenagers. I am a pastor. I serve a church, and I thank God for the opportunity. And I usually say I do this business as a side hustle. So for me, it has been a blessing, and it's helping me to live my dreams. So welcome here. So today I'm just here with Nancy, and I'm just going to give her a chance to introduce herself before I introduce our topic today. Welcome, Nancy.
Thank you very much, and good morning, Coach McKenna. So, my
Mm-hmm.
name is Nancy, and I'm a master's prepared nurse. Uh, s- what I've studied is adult gerontology, and I'm also a business coach. I do this on the side, and I like it because of the flexibility. I do have a 9 to 5. I say I have a 9 to 5 and a 5 to 9. So, and in the 9 to 5, I am in healthcare and I call myself a healer. And in the 5 to 9 a.m., I am a builder. I do this business. So, healer by day, builder by night. And thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, I'm trying to connect my phone here. Yeah, I hope, Nancy, you have time to do that. There you go. Okay. All right. Yeah, so that's really I really like what you've talked about there. So thank you. All right, so today we have a bit of a long um, topic, but for me, this is really important because this is where we find ourselves most of the time. And the question is, what if your biggest blessing is hiding behind the fear you are refusing to face? Because in this life, hey, my goodness, we face a lot. We face a lot in our lives, but you do really have to stay there. So, have you ever wondered how different your life would look like if you stopped letting fear make your decisions? Yeah. Fear has a way of convincing us that we are not ready. Yeah. Not qualified. I remember I was there sometime. Or what we fail maybe we have tried and we have failed, and you are like, okay, I tried that, so I don't think I can do it again. It keeps us in our comfort zone, and that's really what worries me most, because fear keeps us in our comfort zone where life feels so safe. You might be there struggling each and every day, you know what you need, but still that fear, yeah, it keeps you, it makes you feel safe. But where growth really happens is when you are able to make that decision. The truth is that many of the greatest opportunities in life are found on the other side of fear. And I can attest, we can attest to that. For me, I was not a social media person. I was really afraid of showing my face online. But look at me now. Where I am, I can say there's a great opportunity. Yeah. The job you dream about, the business you've been thinking of starting, the relationship you've been praying for, the purpose of God has placed on your heart. There's something that God has placed in your heart. So, all what you need to do is just to face it. Yeah. Instead of avoiding it, face it. I know this personally because there was a time when I was really terrified, but yeah, worried about what people would think. Nancy, I was telling you about my personal Facebook page. Why? I'm not able to post it there. Why? Because I'm like, what will people say? So that fear is still there. Sometimes we are afraid. Yeah. So, and we keep on asking ourselves a lot of things. So today I want to ask you this question. What if the biggest blessing God has prepared for you? Because the Bible tells us that God has a plan for us, a plan to prosper us and not to harm us, a plan to give us a
That
hope
is
and a future. So if
true.
that plan that the Lord has prepared for you is waiting on the other side, but you're just there afraid, what will people say?
Coach, can
Sometimes,
I ask you a question?
uh-huh.
Well, how did you overcome your fear? Because that is one thing. You just mentioned two things and you went into something that's very important to me, spirituality.
Mm-hmm.
But how did you overcome the fear that you're not a social media person? How did you get yourself to start showing up?
Yeah, for me, I started showing up because on one side, I could see the need that I had. I was like in a crossroad where completely I needed to change the way I lived, and I needed to supplement my income. So
Okay.
that is one push that really helped me to cross over. But still, on the other side, I remember when I saw that hard, I really prayed and asked God, do you think it's a good idea for me to venture into this? And again, all along, I was praying for God to open a door for me, to do something that would be flexible for me and will not interfere. So I would say God helped me. And again, as being a preacher, I know how much fear can cause in our lives. I know fear is the worst enemy. So still afraid. Hey, I really
Yeah.
had to keep on saying, McKenna, I have to do this. I have to do this. And again, as you know, our business, we are global people. So
Correct.
interacting with other people, I remember somebody had to show me how to do StreamYard on Facebook. I had to do it with somebody. So another thing that really helped me is that I never kept quiet. I never
Right.
I never stayed back to say, oh, this is how I feel. Oh, this is how I feel. No, no, no. I really shared what I was feeling. So and those things really helped me a lot. Yeah.
You know, when you are speaking right now, you just
Mm-hmm.
reminded me of my biggest fear because one of my biggest fear was when it comes to healthcare or the human body, I can answer those questions even if I'm sleeping. I can wake up and tell you anything about healthcare, but I had
Yes.
no business background. So that was my biggest fear, where I knew I needed to change something, but I was also scared, wondering, okay, I have no business background. How am I going to do this? And the same thing you said is what happened to me, because I realized there was a system that was set up that could fully train me in everything that I needed. And during the time I was investigating the business and looking into it, I realized, oh my goodness, so there is support in training. And also the fact that I thought, I came back to asking myself, hey, before you knew what you know about nursing and healthcare, you didn't know anything. So you took that step and you learned it. So that is how I got to that point of coming across and saying, okay, I do need it, because my big why was after I had an injury while I was at
Mhm.
work, and I ended up having broken bones, and I had to be out of work. And the mistake that happened is I continued walking on the foot because I didn't want just to, 'cause sitting around was not something I was used to doing. So with that, I ended up getting to a place where now I really had to be off the foot because more damage had been done. So with that, when I was sitting at home and thinking about, okay, now I'm here, what if? And this was not like, it was like, what if going back to work is not an option? What do I do? And that was my crossroad, because as you mentioned, I got to a place where I was very nervous and I was scared too, where you're thinking, oh, I've lived all my life walking around doing everything like, oh, everything is fine. Then now I'm in a situation where I have to ask the question, what if? What if I'm not able to go back to work? What if that option was not there of healing and going back to work? Would my life be sustainable? And
Mhm.
that's why me searching for another source of income became important, because I relied on the education, trusting going to school, getting a decent job and working was paying my bills. And it had done that for many years. And it's
Mhm.
just that injury that kind of got me sitting back and thinking, oh, the doctor said you have to be off this foot. And now I have to answer the question, what if you're not able to stand on your feet? My job is where you have to move around assessing patients, making decisions on patient care.
Mhm. Mhm.
So what if that option is not there? What do you do? So that's when I started looking, because I love what I do. I love what I do in healthcare. But I also had to get to a point where I had to create something else. And that's why I had to overcome the fear. Whether I knew business or not, I had to
Or not.
make a change. Correct.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah. So thank
And
you.
that, yeah, and you realize that that is really uh the most part where most of the people miss. Yes, there is that fear, there is a need there, you just need to overcome. So sometimes you really have, I always say, even if you're afraid, move, don't stay, move.
Mhm.
The motion is very important. Yeah. Mhm.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the motion is very important.
But the other thing, you see, when you were talking earlier on, you kind of triggered so many points when you were talking, and I thought, oh my goodness, it's like Coach McKenna, who we haven't spoken about, the conversation we're gonna have, is talking to me, because I was thinking through when you talked about a comfort zone, but as us as human beings, don't we get to a point where we realize comfort is great? Because that's where I was with the job. I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm in nursing leadership, so it, it's paying my bills and I'm comfortable. I can do what I need. I'm paying my bills. I'm living the lifestyle that I want. That comfort had gotten me to a place where I felt I didn't need anything else. But also, in a point that you made, we don't think about the comfort becomes a cage. It locks us up. We're not looking at it. The comfort is not only an opportunity. Comfort is good, and I thank God. That's why I said my spiritual aspect of things is usually very important to me. Yes, because it's a blessing that you're able to work, you're able to fend for yourself. That's a blessing. But when
Mhm.
we really look at it on a different lens, is this comfort could be a cage, and a cage can lock us in a place where we would end up now being um, cut off from things that could be beneficial to us. Because yes, we could take a cage, and if there's something that is harmful coming to us and we are inside locked in a cage, that is good because it will protect us. Like for
Mhm.
example, those people who go get into cages to go in and hang out near wildlife, yes, the cage will protect you in an unsafe situation. But why don't we think about it? If How long do you plan to stay in this cage? Because when you go to an animal orphanage or to the zoo, where they kind of put you in cages so that you can have that close interaction with wildlife, it's for a short time. You want to enjoy and experience that moment. But when we take the same cage and decide, okay, I'm going to live here permanently, we are locking ourselves out from opportunities. Because
Yeah.
sometimes in life, when we walk around, um, again, and I'm going to pull from the other point you brought up, fear.
Mhm.
Sometimes fear can disguise opportunities. Fear is good, and I do not want it to come off like I do not appreciate fear. Fear is good because fear keeps us from making decisions that we would regret. And fear also is good because it cautions us. Because when you think about something and say, hey, you know, I don't know about this investment, but I think I wanted to jump, but I held off. Fear is good because when you're cautious, fear is healthy. But
Mm.
when we let fear become our guiding light, at that point, we have changed the narrative, and now we have set ourselves up where we are being cut off from opportunities, because everything that comes to you, whether it's an experience, and I'm trying to use something very general because it's not only the business. If we were to say, okay, I want to go and experience this wildlife, and I want them to put me in those cages they put me in to experience that. That if you fear so much that, oh my goodness, what if the cage opens up? What if that cage? Then you don't get to experience that. You don't get to enjoy that experience. But if you decide, you know what, these people from the wildlife have done it for so long, many people have gone, they're very minor cases of where something bad happens when you follow the rules as they give them to you, then you get to enjoy your life. You get to go out there on the safari or whatever it is and enjoy that experience. Or even those who do the deep sea diving and they are put in cages, you get to experience that experience. But if you choose, oh no, I can't try this because I don't, I'm scared, then you set yourself up. Fear hinders you from the opportunity of enjoying life. So you brought up quite important points in your opening remark, and I apologize. I kind of wanted to come back to that because it brought up a good feeling. Inside of me, I was thinking, oh my goodness, that is true. This same fear can be a hindrance instead of us using it for enjoying life or even getting where we need to get. On the other token, what I always ask is when I feel fearful about anything, I've always learned to ask myself, what is this fear telling me? Because if we look away and say, oh no, I can't do that, I'm just not feeling right, I can't do this because I'm not feeling right, the question should be, okay, what is the fear warning me? Or what precautions what is the fear? What are the precautions that fear is telling me to take so as to still enjoy this experience? So we always need to have the courage to decide, you know what, despite the fear, there's a path. And I think we need to just take a thoughtful path. Yes, acknowledge the fear is there, but at the same time, take a thoughtful path where we decide, okay, this is how we're going to go. Because as we had what you said, Coach Bakana, is when you are fearful about this, you had a why that was more important than anything else. And also, other than you having a why, this is why I want to do this, you needed to get yourself in a better financial status. You had to kind of come back to where spiritually you think fear is not of God. And you came to the decision, yes, what do I need to do so that even if I'm fearful, I can proceed and start this business? And that's when you did your research. You asked the questions you needed to ask. You investigated. You took the time to go and watch several, whether it was webinars, whether it was calling people and asking them, as you said, you asked questions. Hey, what is this and how is this going and what do I have any support? You asked the questions you needed, and that's why you're here now enjoying life. So we should always ask ourselves, yes, there is fear, and fear is healthy, and it can also be an imprisonment. What is this fear telling me, and what can I do to make sure that even with the fear, I will move while still fearful?
Oh yeah, wow. Oh, that was really amazing. That was amazing. Yeah, so I think looking at it, each one of us has their own why. There is a reason. I always say fear is normal, but don't let it pull you down, or don't let that fear put you in your comfort zone. And again, we always say in this business, oh my goodness, we are so blessed because I was really afraid of social media. I remember when I talked to my coach and my mentor, and they said, "Hey, I've watched the webinar. What's next for me?" And she said, "Oh, pay the 149." Oh my goodness, I was like, paying with my card 149. Oh, do you think I'm going to be safe? And I really, I was there. Then I remember that I have a family of 5, and most of the time when we go to a restaurant, we use more than 149. And I was like,
Correct.
oh, even if I lose it, I lose it. So I was like, yes, I need it. I was like, God was telling me this is a place of blessings for me. And another thing I want us to remember, and for those who are watching, is that as I have said, God has a blessing for us. And as
Always.
people, God has hidden There's no way you can tell what God has in store for you unless you're able to move and see result and see success. That is the time now you can affirm, oh God, I thank you because you're in this. And most of the time, yes, we can fail in other areas, and still there's something that still God wants us to learn from it. So for me, I believe every opportunity that God brings on our way, there is a reason for us. So the issue is, are you going to stay there and be afraid, or be skeptical and start thinking your own way, and you're still there? Are you struggling to pay your bills? You're not able to save for anything. I remember I was talking to somebody who was telling me, oh my goodness, I'm not even able to pay that 149. Can you imagine? That tells you the struggle is
The
real.
struggle is real. The struggle is
Yeah.
real.
But still, we are so much afraid of taking that bold step to say, hey, I want to start. I have seen most of the people in our business start very small. Oh
Of
my
course.
goodness. Within no time, boom.
And
They
that's
boom
what
and they are up there. So do not let your fear hold you back. Yeah. So Nancy, do you have something to?
oh yes. When you're
Mhm.
talking about the fear and faith, do you know one of the things that I have used in my life and consistently stands true is
Mhm.
that faith and fear cannot both lead at the same time. One has to
No.
lead. You're
Yes.
either led by the fear or you're led by faith. So those two cannot work together at the same time. And that's why you have to have the conversation. Sometimes I believe your breakthrough is just one conversation away, because all it takes is you pick up the phone and call Coach McKenna or call me and ask me, hey Nancy, what is this thing you've been talking about? Or Coach McKenna, what is this that you're talking about, this business? How can I start? Are there any options? I know I can afford maybe the 149, but I don't have any money to discuss. I don't know if I can afford any other money that might be needed. Then we could have the conversation about financing, because that is
Mhm.
there. So that's why I say your breakthrough is just a conversation away.
Yes.
If you have the conversation, you will get to where you want to go. Because right now, when we are talking with Coach McKenna here, it's just more to figure out how to overcome the fear of anything. And it's not only this. There are people who will say, oh my goodness, I can't go to school because I don't feel I'm smart enough. When you go and talk to college mentors and you go talk to them, they'll tell you, hey, first of all, we even have people here who will work as your mentor in school. There are people who will check in with you if you're a student who needs assistance before you write yourself off. So we're not only talking about this fear hindering you only when we're talking about the business. It's anything that you want to do in life. You need to not allow fear to take over, because many bright students or doctors and engineers have been held back by the fear they had that I cannot do it, I cannot go to school. And had this person taken the extra step of just going to school and talked to a guidance counselor, they would have been told that even in colleges, there are mentors, there are people who will support you, checking in with you, just making sure that you're doing okay and walking you through the study curriculum. So we end up in our lives missing out on opportunities where now there are people who are in other careers who could have been doctors, who could have been engineers, who could have been pilots. And all this is because they did not have that one conversation, which could have been a career defining, or which could have changed their financial perspective, just having that one conversation. And
Mhm.
that is why I come back to the fact, the point being is that regardless to how you're feeling, whether you have fear or not, we need to remember that our breakthrough is just one conversation away. And the last thing being, don't let fear, which is temporary, stop you from making a permanent decision and close doors that could open a permanent path for you, whether it is in school or it is in another life. So let fear guide you to making safe decisions, but not close you out to opportunities that could take you to different places. Thank you, Coach McKenna.
Oh
That's my
wow,
closing
wow, wow,
point.
wow. Thank you. Need some praise. Yeah, I always call this a trend for I'm sending it to you. All right, so thank you so much. I think this was just amazing. And I really like what you've talked about conversations, because most of the time we hold ourselves back. Oh, I don't have this, I don't have this. But if you're really interested, sometimes I can say, oh, can I talk to somebody? How, I really want to start. How can I start? I don't have this, because we always tell people, in our business, you have to invest. So if you really want to invest, how can you invest? Just talk to somebody. Don't stay back and say, I don't have one, two, three. I don't think I qualify. I have no experience. I have no school. It's not about experience here. It's not
It's
about
not
school
about that.
here. It's all about your heart. Where do you want to be? It's that desire that you have. And I'm always touched by our companies that we have partnered with, because these people worked so hard
Oh
for
yeah.
us to be here. So if you're out there, you're feeling stuck, please don't. Talk to us. Our numbers are here on the screen. Our websites are here on the screen. You can register. Once you register, we always say we have that proven system. I will be able to see you. Once you register, we'll be able to get in touch with you. You can WhatsApp us. If you're in the US, you can, my number there, it's only a WhatsApp number. But yeah, from my bio, there's a number that you can call me with. And for Nancy, there is a number there that you can call direct or WhatsApp.
Oh,
Otherwise,
what's
we're
up?
so much grateful for you guys for listening. And even if you watch this later, I pray that it will just be a blessing to you. Otherwise, in 30 seconds, do you have something to say?
Please have that conversation. Go to school if you want to go to school. Open that business if you want to open that business. Call Coach McKenna if you want to know how she's doing it. Call Nancy if you want to know how we're doing it, where we have a fully running career on the side and we're running successful businesses on the side. Call us. Let's have that conversation in any area that you want us to go.
That for sure. Yes, that for sure. Well, let's thank you so much, guys. We'll see you again next Wednesday. Bye.
Bye bye.